Alright everybody, welcome to Psykos Platters. That's right. This time we're going to go off and do a video. It's a contest video for Omaha Introvert's 1,000 subscriber contest. Congratulations Omaha Introvert. 1,000 subs. Actually it was like 1,100 subs last time I checked. Someday I'll get to there. Someday. But until then, we always keep reaching, don't we? Congratulations on that milestone. So, you went off in your contest video and asked us, this is my first cup of coffee I'm working on, by the way. 3 questions you asked us. Question number 1. Who are 3 favorite female artists of all time? So I'm digging through the collection. You know, I've had ideas in my head. But I may go a little over in your limits. Only because sometimes it's really hard to figure out. You know, some of them there's places tied and stuff like that. Well, Janis Joplin. I don't know what it is about Janis Joplin. I know that may be cliche for some. Too bad. I liked her back when she was in Big Brother and the Holding Company, which is, of course, what Cheap Thrills is. This is an original 2i Columbia stereo from '66. I think it was late '66. And I just something about her voice, my God. This is one of my favorites. And I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why she thought she was ugly. She wasn't to me. She was sexy as hell. Especially when she opened that mouth of hers and sang. My God. I like that kind of voice. Another one that is easy to fall in love with, but I couldn't dig to the albums right now. Ruby Starr. Yeah, Ruby Starr. She was something else too. With Black Oak and Grey Ghost. But so Janis Joplin, first one, okay? Second one, I had a crush on her. I did. I kind of still do. I did. Well, one of the first MTV videos that I saw, and yes, I was an original MTVer. I was 14 almost when that came out. Joan Jett. She's got the chops to prove it, though. Obviously, from the Runaways on, just still puts out really good material. Honestly, she just stays true. I think, honestly, to her rock and rollness. When you look up Bad Reputation, you may see that in a dictionary under Joan. At least that's my opinion. She just is something else. I'm gonna have 4 of them. Okay, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. This next one, I remember hearing these guys originally in 1976, 1977, and I never looked back with my affinity for these two. We're talking about the Wilson sisters, and Heart. Here in my hand is limited edition Dreamboat Annie and magazine picture discs. That's right, these are original from those respective time frames. Soon to be actually sent off to be signed by the 3 non-Wilson sisters. But I've always liked, I liked their material from the get-go, all the way till about, oh man, I remember Bad Animals back in '86. So they got, they went from Columbia, well, excuse me, Epic to Capitol. And yeah, I know it got a little bit more mainstream, but there was some really good songs under all that keyboards. And I just love that Heart album and Bad Animals. And I want to say probably by the time Brigade and Desire Walks On, there was a little bit of good material, but I just really like their 70s and 80s material for Heart. So that is number 3. Number 4, I bought this album brand new back in 81. That's what I thought it was. Chrissie Hynde and the Pretenders. Oh my God. And this one, of course, liking them courtesy of MTV. But you know, this album cover, for whatever reason, has slight shades of Meet the Beatles, except everybody's lit. Just the raw energy on those first 2 albums in that EP. I'm telling you, damn it. I mean, yes, they still ended up getting more 80s hits. You know, like Back on the Chain Gang and I'm tired, guys. Learning to Crawl, that album, and a bunch of other things. But always dear into my heart is going to be these first 2 albums in that EP from the original lineup. Fantastic stuff for Pretenders and Chrissie Hynde. Now, question number 2. Question number 2 kind of got me a little bit scratching my head. I'm not going to lie here. And I've been a music geek since I was age 5. I will be 52 later this year. And I've been collecting records literally 40 years this year. So when you went off and you asked what are 2 of my favorite subgenres of music, you got me. Because I know the standard genres, so I had to do a little bit of digging. And on the internet, yes. And I came across on top10s.com the top 10 musical subgenres. Some of the ones that were brought up: progressive rock, grunge, bubblegum pop, house, and disco were some of the examples given. So based on some of those examples, that's what I want to talk about. I have always, for some reason, liked progressive rock. I have been a prog rock guy, probably I'd say since the late 70s. I think that's when I started. We had some very cool FM stations in Chicago. WXRT is one of them that's coming into my head. And they would play a lot of progressive rock. So, now, there's a lot of bands out there. There still are bands out there, like, Dream Theater and things like that, that do the progressive rock. So what do I think progressive rock is? Okay, progressive rock, a lot of keyboards. Yeah, a lot of keyboards are Mellotron, alright? Maybe the sounds are a little more ethereal. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And with certain bands, you have epic songs or epic albums that tell some sort of a concept story. That doesn't hold true to all of it, but that is what I think of when progressive rock. So it swings all over the place on this. Like, for example, Roxy Music, one of my favorite 70s bands. I think, in my opinion, in the early to mid 70s stuff was prog rock. Virginia Plain, which is on this album, is a good example with that. It is a little bit electronica due to Brian Eno, but still, there's some prog rock stuff on at least, I'd say, the first couple Roxy albums. I didn't know I had water damage on this one. That's sad. Styx. Yeah, I know. See, you're probably like, wait a minute. Styx is... Yes, I know. Styx ended up being mainstream. But I'm talking about the Wooden Nickel stuff, which is what this is. This is the first album. Styx 2 would end up having Lady, which of course was synth, Moog and keyboards and stuff like that, but it kicked ass. It did. But, you know, I mean, so that's the first album from 71. When we get to Man of Miracles in 73, it's still there. They're not making hits. That doesn't always necessarily mean anything. You know, if you get a hit off of a prog rock, good for you. If you don't, guess what? It's alright. You stay true to your vision. In my opinion, anyway, the Styx albums, all the Wooden Nickel stuff, and including Equinox, can fall. Some of it can fall into the prog rock banner. The minute that they started going into Grand Illusion, Pieces of Eight, bits of that are still prog, but they start being more what I call arena rock. So, like I said, the wooden nickel stick stuff. Fragile? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes is one of my favorite prog rock bands. God, I'm trying to remember the first album I might have bought brand new from Yes. I want to say it was, man. It was either Tales of Topographic Oceans or Tormato. Tormato wasn't that great. We start getting towards the end of everything. But I would say probably from the first album of Yes going all the way to Tales of Topographic Oceans is probably where you're going to see most of your Yes prog rock stuff. Because they start losing focus after that. Doesn't mean I don't like it. You know, Drama, which is really not prog rock in my opinion. It leans more towards metal. Honestly, it does. So the guitar work on that stuff is excellent. It's different. But I don't really call it prog rock. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I love Yes. One that's not mentioned too often, Starcastle. Starcastle originally got started in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, in southern Illinois. I'm an Illinois guy, Omaha Introvert. And it originally got started with oh my God, Terry, I am so tired. He was on the first REO Speedwagon album and then left to form this. Some of the Starcastle stuff is definitely prog rock. Definitely. Fountains of Light, Citadel, that kind of stuff. And of course, I love the Moodies. I love the 60s and 70s output of the Moodies. But I love this album too. Honestly, I want to say it was either this or Octave was the first Moody album I ever bought. Excuse me a minute. There. Grandkids decided to come home. Sorry, guys. And one that I picked up not too long ago, Gentle Giant. You don't hear a Gentle Giant very much. This is the Octopus album with the die cut. Yeah, I know, not that easy to find, I'm told. But Gentle Giant, I recently got into them too, and I like what I've heard so far. Alright, that's one genre, sub-genre, can't talk. Second subgenre, bubblegum pop. I have always dug on bubblegum pop. Personally, I remember when I was a kid seeing Monkees, Banana Splits, Partridge Family to some degree. Osmonds, I would probably throw in there. You know, different. You know, as you're going along, you know, like today there's probably bubblegum pop, alright? In the 90s when I had stepkids, I'm not going to lie, I think the boy band crap was bubblegum pop, if you want to go that way with it. Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, that kind of junk. So, two bands that I pulled out really quick because, like I said, I can't get to everything. And everybody that knows me out here knows I'm a huge Monkees fan, so yes. But not all Monkees albums apply in this particular genre, which is kind of goofy. The first Monkees album, yeah. There's, I mean, Last Train to Clarksville. There's, you know, that's the biggie on here, you know. And but there's other ones here like I Want to Be Free, very sappy. Take a Giant Step's pretty cool. Let's Dance On is pretty gummy on here too. Gonna Buy Me a Dog, silly. The cool ones here is the Nez Cuts, Papa Jean's Blues, and Sweet Young Thing. You get elements of country rock mixed into this bubblegum pop album of the first one. And the second album, More of the Monkees, still applies. You said this is pretty much the last of the 60s bubblegum Monkees you've got here. And with this one here, you know, I mean, she's on there, Mary's on there, Andy Griselda's, you know, silly. I'm Not Your Stepping Stone. Even though that's bubblegum poppy, it does borderline on some very cool punkish type moves in here. Look Out, Here Comes Tomorrow. The really sappy ones, The Day We Fell in Love and Sometime in the Morning. Yeah. So that album, and then lastly, you know, they go through all the rest of the albums. They make 9 albums total in the original Cold Gems run. They go back to bubblegum roots. Changes from 1970. I Love You Better, Oh My, it's bubblegummy too. They go back to those roots. And it kind of doesn't help that Jeff Barry ends up producing on these albums too. And he's been known for helping out on producing bubblegum confection. The other band that I wanted to throw right off the bat, I know it's torn a little bit, but Ohio Express. I've always liked Ohio Express. Yeah, Yummy 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 Down at Lulu's. Man, She's Not Coming Home. All kinds of fun. But what I mean by that is the Cass and Cats material, the stuff on Buddha, Ohio Express, 1910 Fruit Gum Company, a little bit of Shadows of Night. I know, all right. But in the late 60s, they did a little bit of bubblegummy type stuff too. Listen to Shake. That'll give you a little piece of evidence. I also have some other goofy one-offs like the Sugar Bears, as in post Super Sugar Crisp. Yeah, they went off and made an album, and Kim Carnes happens to sing background on that album. It's actually halfway collectible, but so you know, bubblegum pop is what I'm looking at on my second genre. Now I know I'm a little long-winded. I'm sorry. Third question you asked: favorite piece of audio equipment that I owned, and it's going to be the word owned. All right. I wish I had it, but I'm glad I don't. Okay. This story goes back to the early 2000s when I was living back up in Illinois. I have a very dear friend of mine. I'm gonna mention her first name. Her name's Lindy. She's always meant something to me. Maybe that's a little sappy. Too bad. And Lindy and I, we got a history, a very good history. And I remember one day I was over there at her house, and I don't know, she was going through a slight rough patch. But I remember before that she showed me her all-time favorite movie, Brigadoon. I've seen musicals from time to time. And she loved that. That's her favorite. So I noticed that they had this nice stereo system, but no record player. And up to that point, I managed to get a Marantz. I'm sorry, I do not know the model number. It's been, let's say 15 years. My memory's going to go. And I had that Marantz. I took care of that Marantz for a handful of years. And in a very strange trade of non-musical stuff, I landed a Fisher turntable. Mint in the box, still sealed. Fisher. And I wanted to make Lindy happy. I did. And so one day I went over there. Nobody was home. And I went off and I had this Marantz. And I said, I got a gift for you. I have a surprise. And I brought the Marantz. And I hooked it up. Amazingly enough, I'm not always good at this hooking up crap. And I hooked it all up for her in the back. Didn't take me too long. But I went off and I said I had another surprise. Because she didn't see the album that I brought in for her. Because the week before that I came over there, I found in a church resale shop a mint condition original press Brigadoon soundtrack on MGM. The old yellow label. And I said, this is yours too. And I proceeded to put the thing on there. She got me and her a glass of wine. And I sat there with her. And we listened to that record. And I remember, I think that I basically, you know, we sat there and just loved it. We did. And so that always means something to me. I'm not sure if she still has that Marantz. I know she did until she moved in the mid-2000s. But that always just means something to me, that I was able to make her smile and give the gift of music to her. Alright guys, I know I'm long-winded. I hope this helps, honestly. Congrats on the 1,000+ subscribers, Omaha Introvert. And you know what, I'm going to throw this out there too. If you guys like and sub Psykos Platters too, you know what, like Omaha's channel, you know, we both have great channels. And keep doing what you're doing, Omaha. I love it. Take care, God bless, rock on, guys, and see you next time.